Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about 5 uncomfortable phrases Christians need to start saying more often. Number 1 phrase Christians need to start saying more often is the following: I don't know. As a pastor, for me, it is very difficult to say this phrase because I want to be the person with all the answers. But what I have been developing a habit is of saying, I just don't know. There are some things that we just don't know, and we need to be okay with saying it. So even though I don't know, God does, and we need to point people to Jesus. We need to point people to a vibrant relationship with Christ because He has all the answers. And very often we don't get an answer because God is the answer. And many situations, many things that happen in life, we just don't know the reason for that. So we need to be comfortable in saying, I don't know. Number 2, I was wrong. That's a phrase that we need to start saying more often. Not blame shifting, not saying somebody else was at fault, but just very basically saying I was wrong. And very often we want to be right rather than to be understood. And that's the wrong way to approach it. So we just need to say, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was my fault. I should have never done that. I will do my best to not repeat this again. Let's get into the habit of saying this phrase, I was wrong. Number 3 phrase we need to start saying more often is, I really appreciate you. The Bible constantly talks to us about the fact that how much love we need to have for one another. And Romans 12 is replete with characteristics of an authentic Christian, and one of them is outdoing one another in showing honor. And I do believe that one of the greatest ways that you and I can show honor to people in our life is to tell them that, hey, I appreciate you. So I challenge today, text somebody, call somebody. Whenever you see somebody that you know or you even don't know, say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you. I want to encourage you in the work that you're doing. Whenever somebody messages me or texts me or says to me, you know what, I really appreciate the work that you do, that is fuel for me to continue forward. And I believe that all of us do much better when we're constantly encouraged. And what I would say is that whatever gets complimented gets repeated. So I want to say right now, to those of you that are listening, to those of you that consume any content that I produce, I appreciate you. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing and be all that God has created you to be. The 4th phrase that we need to say is actually not a phrase at all. It's nothing. Don't say anything. Very often, people are not looking for a solution to their problem, but rather a person that will listen to their problem. Whenever we're sitting down with a grieving person, when somebody is going through an emotional breakdown, sometimes all we need to do is just to be. The Psalms talk about the fact that be still and know that I am God. And very often in our busy, crazy, hyped up culture, we don't even know what it means not to say anything. But we need to learn that. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just to say nothing at all. Your mere presence is exactly what that person is looking for. The 5th uncomfortable phrase we need to start saying is no. We need to be able to learn to say no. We need to learn to say no to good things so we can say yes to great things. We need to learn to say no to good things so we can say yes to great things. When an opportunity comes towards you, you need to ask yourselves the following questions. Does this fit the mission and vision of what I'm doing? Does it make sense for me to do this? Is there somebody else that can do a much better job at it? Is the thing that I'm being asked to do, will I be doing it out of my strength or out of the area in which I have much more opportunity? So figure those things out and don't be afraid to say no. All right, guys, thanks for listening to this short talk where I mentioned 5 uncomfortable phrases Christians need to start saying more often. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it helped you out. For more content, visit kipko.net. And also, please check out my podcast on iTunes under the Fuel for Life podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.